Hi friend, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Akoya. I am a mom of 3 boys, 5, 3, and 1. I make lifestyle homemaking and motherhood content, and today we're talking all things potty training. If you've watched some of my videos before, you'll know that I was already putting him on the potty around 9 months, but life and things happened and I just wasn't on it. So we are now officially going to commit to the bit and get this potty training done. So I thought I would share with you how you can also potty train your child early and get them to the potty sleeping through the night dry, through naps, in underwear, no more pull-ups before the age of 2. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my method, and then I'm going to share how I'm setting up my home and myself to be ready to commit to this, because it is a very focused thing in the very beginning. So let's jump right into it. So to start off with, for potty training, I find it's really helpful to decide when you want to start and give yourself a good week where you're really going to be home most of the time and your child's not doing anything extra stressful. So they're not doing like swimming lessons, they're not getting teeth. That's actually what's put back mine quite a bit. Just anything like that. You don't want them to be sick, because this is, a big learning thing for them. This is a big milestone. So we want to have our kids in the best position to succeed. And that's going to mean that they're well rested, they're in routine, and you have time to really focus on them. Maybe say your husband's home for an extra day or two, you have a longer weekend, so you can have some extra help with your other kids and just really be focused on your child. This is a great time to schedule in that potty training. The next thing I like to do is, in preparation for this, start announcing when I need to use the bathroom. Like, oh, I have to go pee. I'm going to go to the bathroom, everybody. And then, oh, I peed or I pooped or whatever it is, and get everyone in your family to do it. If you have boys, then I would really encourage your husband to be announcing this to them and even bringing them with to the bathroom. And I like to do that a few days before we really start the deep dive into potty training, because I feel like then they're already familiar with the idea. It's not so overwhelming or scary. They're like, oh, they're peeing on the potty. When they finish, then we leave. Everyone's really excited. They're already starting to understand and put it together before you're expecting them to totally do it on their own. And then I like to set up just a few things in my house that make it a lot easier for me, so I am more calm, because a calm, happy mom makes for a lot more calm, happy child, and it makes the whole entire potty training learning experience much more enjoyable, and they're much more willing. Now we're going to set up our spaces. I like to start off with cleaning the bathroom, specifically the one you're going to be taking this child to. I like to pick one bathroom. That's the space that they're going to be going. They're going to sit on this toilet to make it really consistent for them. Obviously, as they get farther along in their potty training, you'll start taking them to different toilets in your home and then out and about. But pick one and stick with it. That way, when they go in that room, you know that they are trying to signal to you that they would like to use the bathroom, and you can reinforce that by putting them on the toilet every time they go into that room. So I like to get super duper clean, because we are going to be spending a lot of time nice and cozy with that toilet. And then I like to get the area set up. I'm going to bring in some step stools. I love these 2-step step stools that make it so my child can fully get on the toilet by themselves without my help. I'm not really a fan of the extra little toilet seats. I feel like it takes more time to get it put on the toilet. Then they don't want to pee out in public or at a friend's house. So for me, I've just found that it's a waste. The little toilets that sit on the floor are great if you have a really small young child and they can't quite get on the toilet. But if your kid can fit decently on the toilet, or you're willing to just hold them there, it is so much easier than having to clean out a little baby potty all the time. I found my kids were just putting their toys in it and their whole bodies and their feet when they weren't using it, and that whole thing just grossed me out. So we just use the toilet. And then I'm going to bring in this basket that I've prepped, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, that has extra underwear and pull-ups right by the toilet. And if you're going to be having them wear pants at this time, I would also put that over there. You could even do like a 3-tiered cart with their pants, underwear. I've brought in the like little 3-drawer thing, whatever you need, so it's right there and you're not having to run back and forth, because you want to make this as simple as possible. This basket, this is where I'm going to be keeping extra underwear and pull-ups. I love these specific underwear. They're like a little bit more absorbent, kind of a waterproof. I'll link them down in the description if you want to check them out. The snaps is what sold me, because sometimes you do have accidents that include a poop, and if you have to pull normal underwear down with the poop, that becomes a whole mess for you, your child, the floor, the whole thing. So these have been really helpful. If you're cloth diapering, you could use the cloth diaper ones. I just find this smooth interior and a little bit smaller, less bulky feel is more similar to the underwear. I also love more of this whitey tighty style underwear for boys and girls. Because it does fit under a cloth diaper outer. So as you start going on those outings, you can always throw an outer over top of the normal underwear just to give a little extra protection, a few extra seconds, maybe an extra minute if they have a little accident and you're trying to get them to the potty on time, because that timing is a big thing to learn also. So I have tons of these in the size I use for potty training. And I also like to keep like one of my wet bags in the bathroom so I can just throw these in there. I am going to be more diligently washing them every single day, and you can just wash them on like a super wash with your like dish towels and stuff. I find I wash those at a pretty good temperature, plenty of soap and stuff. And then I like a very inexpensive pull-up, something that does not hold a ton of pee without feeling wet, because the goal is to make sure your child knows that they have in fact peed in their pants. So these we'll use for nap time and overnight. Nap time is hopefully just for the first week or two, and then they should be staying dry. And as soon as I see they're staying dry, most of the time I'll switch over to underwear. And then I do like to have some extra bedding on hand to swap out in case they would have an accident in that overnight time. The last thing we're going to do is get ready this little cleaning caddy basket that I'm going to be keeping in the main area that I am with my child. I like a basic all-purpose cleaner, something, non-toxic is going to be a priority for me here. This is going to be to clean up after any pee. We're going to need a huge roll of paper towels, and I like a big stock of them so I don't run out. I also love this enzyme spray for removing organic odors. Great for if your child pees on like a rug or your couch, something you can't wash, something that's not a hard surface. You can clean it the best you can, then spray this over top and it gets rid of all the smells. I also love these alcohol wipes. They're great for wiping up hard surfaces, cleaning up the toilet if you get some extra pee on there after you dry it up. Just super convenient and a great addition to this caddy. And then I'm also going to make sure I have a good stock of like little plastic bags, so if we do have a poopy pull-up or diaper or something like that, we can run it out, or we have to clean up a mess on the floor, then I can just be throwing it right into this plastic bag and take it outside, so I'm not having those pee diapers and poop wipes and such sitting in the house stinking it all up, because I find it's way more smelly than like a cloth diaper pail would be. So once that's all ready, I am going to place it in my main living space and we are ready to start this potty training. I like to do 3 days, no pants, no undies, sometimes even no shirt. We're just going naked. And I find it so much easier to just run your kid to the bathroom. You're not having to change underwear and pants and do a million pieces of laundry, because you would be washing laundry every night for the first 2 to 3 nights in my experience. And I just don't want to put that stress on myself. Plus, I feel like your child then sees when they pee, like, oh my gosh, there's pee coming out of me. And they just understand that whole concept way faster. It does make a little more of a mess in your house, but it's more helpful for you to catch it immediately and your child to see, that what that feeling is, what that thought in their mind is, and then how their body is peeing. And you can get them to the toilet. So that's what we like to do. The first 2 days are pretty hard. By the third day, we normally get some successful potties, and after that, it just gets better and better. So I hope this helps you guys and you're feeling confident as you walk into this potty training season. My best wishes to you, and I hope you have the most blessed day. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you are subscribed if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one.